Hey, what's up, everybody? With Alien Romulus coming out this Friday, I thought I would take the opportunity to talk about a few flicks that I think people should see leading up to it. I am the resident Alien fanatic. I'm obsessed with the franchise. They're like a sports team that you got to root for, even when they're losing, which is most of the time. But I want to talk about five films that are not so obvious. Obviously, I could sit here and talk about the entire Alien franchise. Duh. I mean, this film is supposed to be sandwiched between Alien and Cameron's Aliens. So yeah, I mean, go watch that franchise if you haven't already. I don't know where you've been. I'm also going to omit The Thing. Everybody's already seen The Thing. I'm not going to tell you to watch The Thing. It's a masterpiece. We all know this. And I'm not going to get into Fede Alvarez's work either. But if you want a crash course into the newest guy to take a crack at this franchise, definitely check out his remake of Evil Dead and Don't Breathe. And being such a huge fan of the Alien series, I am trying not to get too excited about the film. I'm going to see it opening night. I'm sure I'm going to review it on here, but I'm trying to really gauge my expectations of it. I want to go into it without too much hype because at the end of the day, they're not going to hurt this franchise anymore. I don't expect it to be nearly as good as the first one or the second one. I just want a decent Alien movie, and I want to see a decent Alien movie in the theaters, right? In my lifetime. We're not talking about Prometheus and Covenant and all that stuff, but I just want to see a halfway decent Alien movie. And this movie does look like an Alien movie, right? Is it a bit easy to kind of just say, oh, we're going to make a movie and we're going to sandwich it in between the two best films in the franchise? Yeah. Is it ballsy for Fede Alvarez to say that? Absolutely. Is it going to be as good as those two movies? Absolutely not. So I'm not going to go in there with those sorts of expectations. And I don't think you should either. Watching the trailer, it looks like a good horror movie. Hopefully. I just want it to be okay. But anyway, let's talk about these five films I think you should see before going to see Romulus. Number 5 is Communion, 1989. On December 26th, Whitley Strieber has a strange nightmare. In the following days, plagued by painful headaches, his behavior becomes increasingly erratic. Later, under hypnosis, he discovers that his dream was not a dream at all. Communion is a more grounded approach to sci-fi. It deals with the topic of alien abduction, and most importantly, Chris Walken dancing with said aliens. Number 4, Fire in the Sky from 1993. An Arizona logger mysteriously disappears for 5 days in an alleged encounter with a flying saucer in 1975. His co-workers endure ridicule and contempt as they are wrongly accused of murder. Staying with the theme of people getting abducted by little gray men, whereas Communion is eerie but goofy at times, Fire in the Sky is downright terrifying in its third act, as D.B. Sweeney recounts the entire process of his abduction and his probing. It literally shows you everything, whereas a lot of movies might just, stay on the guy telling the story and maybe give you quick flashes. No, they show you everything. All the terrifying stories that you heard people talk about on Unsolved Mysteries, you get to see it all, and it's going to freak you out. It's gonna keep you awake at night. The movie itself as a whole is okay. It's kind of more about the true story and the media hoopla around the friends, who they accuse of murder, and because DB Sweeney disappears. That part is all fine. It's got a great cast. You got Robert Patrick's in there too, man. But it's really about that third act, and if you can get to that third act, it is worth it. Number 3, Event Horizon from 1997. A rescue crew is tasked with investigating the mysterious reappearance of a spaceship that has been lost for 7 years. I have to be honest with you. I'm a bit of a Paul W.S. Anderson apologist. I think he gets a bad rap. I get it. He's kind of become that video game adaptation guy, and a lot of his movies are not good. But I think everybody takes it a little too seriously sometimes. He's gone on record as saying, you know what, I like to make movies that people like to see and it makes them happy. Not everybody has to make the English patient. I think there's value there. So while I don't like the Resident Evil movies, I love the first Mortal Kombat movie in 1995. And, he had a run of films in the 90s with Soldier, with Kurt Russell, and then Event Horizon. These are solid flicks. With Event Horizon, this movie is essentially Aliens cross Hellraiser.
Not quite.
Nothing more, nothing less. It reeks of 90s, but at its core, it does capture that isolated environment like Alien pretty well. The plot is a little Swiss cheesed, but what's good is pretty damn good. And it's got a great cast. You got Lawrence Fishburne and you got Sam Neill. All good stuff. Number 2, Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1978. I know there's the original film, and then they had one in 93 just called Body Snatchers, but we're talking about the 1978 Philip Kaufman classic. When strange seas drift to Earth from space, mysterious pods begin to grow and invade San Francisco, replicating the city's residents one body at a time. Like The Thing, this movie really tackles paranoia, constantly asking the questions of who you can really trust. It's insanely creepy, has a young Jeff Goldblum and Spock, and nightmare-fueled man-dog hybrids that are going to have you seeking therapy. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's a fantastic movie, and to me, it's one of the all-time classics. And that just leaves us with number 1, Extro from 1982. An alien creature impregnates a woman who gives birth to a man who was abducted by aliens 3 years ago. The man reconnects with his wife and son for a sinister purpose. I just have to put it out there, folks. Isn't that logline awesome? Doesn't it just make you want to drive up to your local public library and rent Extro just like I did in 1995? I am here to put respect on my man Extro's name. E.T. gets all the love, but Extro is the one giving you a full-on birth of a grown man, and frankly, I don't even know why there's a contest. And that's it. That's 5 films that I think you got to see before watching Alien Romulus. And honestly, 5 films that I just think need a little bit more attention. Everybody talks about Aliens. Everybody talks about Predator. Everybody talks about, like we said, The Thing. But there is so much to the science fiction, sci-fi horror genre out there that deserves a lot of love. So check them out. Let me know if you did in the comments below, or if you've seen them already, let me know what you think of them. And if you appreciated this video, I would absolutely love it if you would drop us a like, a comment, or subscribe to the channel. And feel free to check out the channel where we have an abundance of film commentaries for you to dive into. Check you guys next time. Bye.
Get up! I'm cooking. I'm on a roll. What's the matter with you?